Hello and welcome to the Podnovation Podcast. In today's episode, I'm going to be showing you the podcast Says Funny, how you can turn listeners into paying clients step by step. Now, your podcast listeners are the warmest leads you ever have. They've given you 30 minutes of their time. They trust your voice and they keep coming back. So why aren't they becoming clients? Because you don't have a funny. Today, I am showing you how to build one step by step. Now, most podcasters treat their show as a hobby, not as a business asset. There's no intentional path from listener to lead to clients. Nothing. There's no system. Okay, so let's look at the funnel. What's the funnel map? There are 4 stages in the funnel map. The first is attract. And that's you want to get them to press play. You're promoting the podcast out there. You're optimizing to SEO. You're sharing it. You're doing all the necessary things just to get people to press play. Now, when they press play, the next is engage. You want to deliver massive value so that they listen and they get value from the episode. Okay, most people do the attract, they do the engage, but they never really get to do the capture. So with the capture, you want to get them off the platform and into your own world. So what does capture? It means adding call to actions, relevant call to actions in your episodes so that people take the next step. They join your newsletter, they book a call, and whatever your phone name might be, right? And depending on the kind of work you do. Okay. And then once they come into your world, you then convert them by booking a call you know, and then they become leads, or if not leads, they become members of your newsletters, and you get to send them promotions, episodes, and newsletters every week. Okay, so think of it like dating, right? Your episode title is the first impression, the content is the first date, your lead magnet is getting their number, your sales call is the proposer. I know, terrible example. Yeah. Now, the biggest mistake you could make is trying to convert in stage one. Now, that could happen. I mean, there are a lot of instances where people marry in the first dates, right? But you haven't ended it yet. The funnel works in order, right? Get them to listen to your episodes and then take the next step. Some people need to listen to 2 episodes to take the next step. Some people need to listen to 3 episodes. But in all the episodes, the call to action is there for them to take the next step. When they listen to the episode, they're clear what the next step is. They're not wondering, okay, I listened to a great episode, what else? Okay. So what are the things you could do to attract and engage to actually get people to listen to your podcast so that they can work with you? Usually people they run webinars, and when you watch the webinars, you can then book the call, you can then buy the services, buy the offers. But with a podcast, it's a bit different, because now with the podcast, people are actually listening to you and then they can take the next step. So what can you do to attract and engage? You could do SEO optimized titles, social media clips that tease the value, guest cross promotions, appearing as a guest on other shows, all those things really work. Now, so with Engage, you open every episode with a hook that makes them stay. You deliver on the promise of the title. You use stories, not just statics. And then when you engage, you help retain them. Okay. And then from the attract, the engage, they can. So the first is attract, engage. You can then capture, right? You get their email, their contact. So that way you can talk to them, not just via the podcast. Because with the podcast, you put it out there and you hope that they listen, right? But with the contact, you can talk to them directly. You're running a promotion, you're running an event, whatever you're doing, you can talk to them directly. Okay. Okay. Well, if you're realizing that you need help building this system, that's what we can help you with. Our agency doesn't just make podcasts sound good. We build the strategy, the funnels, and the content engine that turns your show into a client acquisition machine. Okay. You can book a free call in the description. Okay. So the lead magnets, that's the capture section. Every episode should drive to a specific high value free resource, not just your homepage, a specific landing page with a specific offer. And when I say offer, I'm not saying that they have to buy something, but think of it this way. If I listen to an episode on how to grow a podcast, okay, how to grow a podcast, and the next thing I say is download our free podcast growth checklist. And that's like the next step they can do to grow the podcast. Okay. Or how to come up with a good name for a podcast, right? I'm just giving examples because I talk about podcasting. And I say, use this framework to come up with a killer name for your podcast. And then I put the template and you can go get the templates, right? Okay, so it's a next step. It's, see now that the offer I'm leading is not just a generic offer. It's the offer that is the next step for them to take action on what I have talked about in the episode. Okay. And then they're moving from platform from it helps them move from a platform that you don't control to a platform that you do control. That's your email list. Now you can nurture them, you can welcome them, you can send them value episodes, you can send promotional emails, and you can send client stories, and you can also invite them to book a call. Okay. And then the convert, the discovery call. By the time they book, they already know you, they like you, and they trust you. They say it's 80% done before you say hello, and then you can talk, you can ask about their goals, identify their goals, present your solution as a bridge. You're not pitching, you're just trying to understand. And then you talk about the price and see how they arise and all that, and case studies too. And that way you can then convert, right? And so it's not just a podcast. You have a lead, because not sometimes you might be running a promotion, you might release a book, and you can send an email and it goes directly to them and they can take action. Okay. So to recap the funnel: attract, engage, capture, convert, right? Attract, engage, capture, convert. Thing is, if you do capture, you can always keep attracting and engaging them to listen to more episodes of your podcast, and then eventually one day they'll convert to work with you. Okay. Your podcast is not just content, it's the most powerful sales tool you're not using properly. And I can help you fix that. Book a free discovery call, and we'll audit your current podcast for name, or build one from scratch. The link is in the description. Let's turn your listeners into clients, into leads, into customers. Yeah. See you in the next episode.